What's up, YouTube world? I kind of wanted to do like a real quick recap on the chassis on this thing. When I first had put this in together, I had a lot of people ask me about, hey, can I get a drawing of that? I've got a Studebaker, I want to do that same chassis and stuff. And it wasn't really that simple because we took the original chassis, we 3D scanned it and made a drawing of the original rolling chassis of the car. And then we broke the frame rails out of that drawing. And I had a guy in Ohio, his name was Mike with Cornfield Customs. He bent the frame rails for the chassis for me. And that gave me like a really nice starting point. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to put the Speedway Motors Universal G-Comp front end under it and the G-Comp torque arm rear end under it, and kind of do the car as sort of a autocross type style build. Basically is what I was kind of going after. It may go to a drag car build down the road, but for now I kind of want to do some corner carving and some high speed runs and things like that. So the engineering team gave me a lot of help on this thing, and it turned out pretty slick. I kind of just want to walk you guys through what we had gone through to get from basically A to Z on the rolling chassis for this Studebaker. So as I mentioned, the frame rails were done by Mike at Cornfield Customs. He CNC bent these. They're 2" by 4" rails, 3/16 thick. They're heavy, I know. I'm building kind of a heavy pig car, and it doesn't bother me too much. So what I had to do was I had to lay the frame rails out on a jig table. And then I took them, I spliced them in with the G-Comp front end. Right in this area here, you can see with the fish plates and stuff where I had done that. So the G-Comp front end it's pretty slick setup. It uses Corvette hubs and whatnot, sealed bearings, the whole nine. So none of your old school packing bearings or anything has to apply to this thing anymore. That's all gone. It's obviously, they're AFCO coilovers in the front end. You've got all sorts of adjustability on caster, camber, all that kind of good stuff, which I haven't really gotten into just yet. You can see the power steering rack we had in there that I unpowered with the last video, and now it's a manual rack setup. So it's got a pretty good sized sway bar. They run a spline sway bar setup with these kits from Speedway with the G-Comp stuff. If you move towards the back of this thing a little bit, the transmission cross member, I basically did a roll cage door bar, like a door bar swing out kit here. So one bolt on each side, transmission cross member drops out. It was the simplest way I could think about doing it. It should be pretty slick. Hopefully it works out well for me. You come back to the back of the car here. You've got the torque arm setup from the G-Comp Universal torque arm rear. It's kind of like a 3-link setup with a panhard bar. You've got 2 lower links down there, and then you've got like a torque arm that comes clear up here to the middle of the car. And it's supposed to help weight transfer, launching, all that kind of good stuff. I'm kind of excited to see how the car handles when we get the whole thing like put together and kind of dialed in. I did 3/16 stainless steel brake lines across the whole chassis here, and then bulkheads through the frame. This was kind of a neat little piece Speedway sells here that you can actually run your brake lines. So it's real clean. You don't have to have the tabs up top or anything. Try to do a short bend here or anything for your brake lines. They come actually through the frame rail here. Those are pretty trick little pieces that I found from Speedway. Wheelwood brakes on all 4 corners. There's all sorts of options you have out there for brakes, but I just chose Wheelwood. I like the red calipers. The car is going to be maroon anyway. You won't see them much with the steel wheels, but maybe someday if I go to some nice billets or whatever, you might actually see the brakes. So I kind of wanted something that was functional and pretty at the same time. Coming to the back of the car, I did a Dutchman Fab 9 with a strange bolt-through aluminum center section on it. I think I ran 370 gears on it, so it's kind of happy medium with 8-speed automatic transmission I'm going to run. The fuel system is going to be air motive. It's going to be run by a Vaporworks dual pump PWM controller. Because it's going to be feeding to an LT engine over here, so you need to keep that 70 PSI constant. Instead of having just a regular return system, it's going to be one line for the fuel system from front to back, which is kind of slick. It saves you some plumbing time and whatnot. Sway bar on the rear, pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. I opted for a full Fab 9 with a braced rear. That was kind of a pain in the butt to get all the spacing figured out for the coilovers and stuff, but I kind of got everything tucked back in this real tight package here. The fuel system was the air motive dual pump set up inside the tank, and then I had a custom stainless steel cell made by a place in Columbus, Nebraska here actually. This thing went from a napkin sketch drawing to a fuel cell on the floor of my shop in 3 weeks. So they did an amazing job. It looks great. Hopefully it should work great. It ended up being like a 16-gallon cell. I should have enough capacity to run for, if this thing gets 20 miles to the gallon, it's gonna get me 300 miles to a tank, which is plenty fine for what I'm gonna be doing with the car. And basically that's kind of a general overview of the whole chassis. As far as all that kind of custom fab goes and everything, it's been quite the journey. It's all powder coated and it's ready to hopefully start rolling soon. So next time up, it's time to start in the body. Not looking forward to that, but that's the next big phase of the project, is to get the paint and body work knocked out in this thing. So looking forward to giving you updates soon.